My name is Ronald Hicklin. I'm here with EJ Tackett, the best player in the world right now. EJ, going to a tournament, you're going to roll in 2 3-ball roller bags. What bowling balls are going to be in your bag from Motive?
All right, well, for me, there's going to be one ball in this bag that's going to be different than I would very much suggest most people to have.
Okay.
Most people are going to need a spare ball.
Hmm.
Because I'm able to do things to a bowling ball to make it go straight, I would probably use a urethane ball as my spare ball, and it would double in case I needed to use the urethane ball. I do the same thing at the U.S. Open when we're limited to 10. I don't have a spare ball there. I use the urethane as my spare ball, but it doubles in case I need it. So I'd have one of those. For sure would have a Venom Shock in the bag. I'd probably want to have some sort of asymmetric bowling ball. The newer Pride Dynasty has been really good. I won a regional with it. I like what I see out of that bowling ball. It's got a nice solid cover, picks up the lane pretty well. So I'd probably have that one in the bag. Then we're going to need to have, probably 1 or 2 shiny balls. Probably a nuclear forge.
Okay.
I would put that ball in there. And maybe something like a super rally, something that's really, really clean in case the lanes get burned up pretty good. And then I'd probably go with another middle of the road type ball. Last ball is always the toughest one to pick.
Right.
I would probably go with something like, depending on what pattern I was going to, the choice might be different. I'd probably go with either a coral venom or a black venom.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So basically, you're building your arsenal up so that no matter what you encounter, you've got something that's going to be able to keep you.
Yeah, I've got something where I can manipulate the surface on if I need to. I've got a ball that's a little bit earlier. It's a middle asim ball. I've got another middle asim ball that can kind of be used both ways. I got a clean big symmetric ball. I got a cleaner middle symmetric ball, urethane ball, and then the trusty Venom Shock. So, it's like I pretty much got all my bases covered, and I can kind of manipulate those bowling balls to do a wide range of things. And this is something I've had to do. We go overseas and bowl. It's 2 3-ball rollers. It's 6 balls, and you just got to make do with what you got. Hopefully, you make the right decisions before you leave home.
And then along with those lines, like you'll use the sanding pads, you use the True Cut sanding pads. Mm-hmm. What is your favorite True Cut sanding pad of the line that you typically would use?
Honestly, I actually use probably more lower grits than you would think. I use a lot of like 500 and 1,000, but what I do with those is I'm all about feel, right? So I'll take the 500 or 1,000, 1,500, and I'll lightly hit the bowling ball. I'm not grinding into it to make it super dull, but I like to use the lower grit because it leaves some deeper lines in the ball. So I feel like that when you leave those deeper lines in the ball, that surface that you're putting on lasts a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So you see that reaction you're looking for maybe 3 or 4 games in the block instead of just, if you use, say, like a 3,000 pad, it's going to shine up a little bit quicker because that 3,000 isn't leaving the lines in the ball like the 500 is. So I like to use it that way. Sometimes I'll use a 500, maybe press a little bit harder, and then I'll take like a 3,000 over top of that to kind of smooth it out a little bit too. So I'll use different pads depending on what I'm seeing on the lane in front of me and what I think I need. But it's definitely given me a lot of success of being able to use a little bit lower grit, maybe going over top of it with like a 3,000 or something. Or every now and then, especially on TV, I would use probably more of a 3,000 type pad on TV because typically it's just one game.
Right.
So it's like, okay, I can use that 3,000 in this situation because I don't need it to last longer. And that is kind of the reaction that I was looking for anyway, but I manipulate it like during qualifying to get that reaction to last a little bit longer.
That makes a lot of sense. And the last thing is, I know like you're really good at wiping your bowling ball off. Mm-hmm. And you wipe your ball off every shot. Why do you do that?
Well, it eliminates any oil that could be left on the ball, because we know these bowling balls absorb oil very quickly, but being able to get all of that oil off the surface of the ball gives you much more consistent reaction when the ball is going down the lane. Because even if there's a little bit of oil and that ball will skate, maybe 6 inches or a foot, that's going to make a huge difference
Right.
on the reaction of the bowling ball. So it's trying to make sure that surface is clean, so that way, it's one less thing that you have to worry about, one less variant you have to worry about when you're throwing shots and trying to win major championships.
Makes a lot of sense. Well, now you heard it first from EJ Tackett, 2023 PBA Player of the Year. If you have more questions, man, feel free to join our staff. That's one way to be able to talk to him. So thank you, EJ, for coming, and we will see you on the lanes.
Absolutely.